Hey guys, what's up? It is Gianna here. We are on day 7. Bienvenidos. Welcome. Feliz sábado. Happy Sabbath, guys. Again, day 7. This is our final day of the music segment to the Passion of the Christ. I hope you guys have enjoyed your time. I've enjoyed my time on the internet, getting to meet you guys in the chat and communicating. Please, again, say hi, and we love to conversate with you guys. If you have any questions for our guests, always drop them. And we do love when you guys play the games with us. So stay tuned. We've got a full program. We've got 2 artists and we've got a co-host. Let us follow the order. So I have a friend that I would like to introduce to you guys. Her name's Nicole. Hey, girl.
Hi, what's up?
Nothing much. How are you?
Pretty good. Enjoying the good weather.
Yeah, I know. The other day I was actually saying it's summer, but it's spring. Spring's good. Yeah. So what have you been up to lately?
Not much. Bike riding, working. Trying to stay COVID free.
I know that's right. And what is your relation to music?
Well, I listen to it just about every single day. A lot of different genres. I grew up playing the violin, and now it's like a small hobby. So
You have some experience, and with COVID and music, what have you noticed? The differences are when it comes to church.
wow, when it comes to church, I think some people have like really taken advantage of this whole virtual church with music thing, and I really like the creativity that's been going into like preparing for it. And I think some other churches are struggling because like the live in-person feel is kind of totally different. So I think it makes a big difference.
Yeah, that's true. And I mean, we should start off by adding our guest, right?
Yes, we should. Let's bring on Danielle.
Yeah, but just before we do that, I actually want to show an introductory clip of her music, and then we'll bring her on.
CCM, on stage, online.
We're so excited about this opportunity to share our music with the audience that we dearly miss, and with our Cincinnati community that we love so much.
One thing we all crave is just a sense of normalcy. So part of us connecting with audience is just to somehow reestablish a sense of normalcy, and hopefully not too far from now, a real sense of normalcy will be reestablished.
To be on stage now, especially with the Ariel Quartet and Christian, and being able to play closer together has been very exciting, very exhilarating, and very refreshing for me.
That was
We
great.
are going, yeah, we're going to stop that right there. That was awesome. I literally speechless. Honestly, this morning I was saying to myself, I forgot how much I like classical pieces, and she's an excellent celloist, and we should bring her on ourselves. Here is Danielle. Hey, girl.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. So happy to have you on here. Our first question is, what is your musical schedule like?
So, yeah, my schedule, I'm a classical musician, as you saw from the video. And so my schedule at the moment mostly consists of playing in an orchestra. Like on a weekly basis, I will have rehearsals, maybe 3 to 4, and then 2 to 3 performances over the course of the end of the week. And outside of rehearsals with orchestra, I have to practice on my own and prepare that music as well. And I also am in school for music, so that's a whole other load as well.
Okay, can you tell us a little bit more about yourself? Maybe like what your major is and what you do outside of practicing and going to orchestra practice.
Sure. So yeah, I right now I'm currently in grad school. I'm studying cello performance, and my specific focus is orchestral playing. But I'm from Georgia, Lithonia, Georgia. That's where I grew up, born and raised. And I went to undergrad in Evanston, Illinois, and that's how I met Jeuna. So outside of that, I think if anything, church takes up a lot of my time, which is good. I enjoy just being as immersed in volunteering and socializing and community getting together at my church as much as possible. And right now I'm doing that, I guess, in 3 different places because it's all virtual. But yeah.
Yeah. And so what made you choose the cello? Do you play any other instruments?
So I have 2 siblings, and we all started on piano when we were really young, like 5. And that was mainly just like our parents wanted us to do something. But I'm a middle child. So my brother, of course, he was the best at piano by a certain point. And my father wanted my sister, my younger sister, and I to do a different instrument. So he presented the cello to me. I didn't pick the cello. I didn't know what a cello was before I saw it. And so, yeah, I grew to love it really quickly, though. I'm really glad I learned to play it because the sound is something that I love the sound of the cello.
Yeah.
Okay, and on that thread, what ways, obviously this is like your career, but in what ways has music impacted your life?
Music has actually, for me, it's been a way to connect with people. When I think of music, I think mostly of community and communication. So my personality is not necessarily the most outgoing. So I always had a hard time, like, kind of letting people know who I was by talking. But when I think when I play with someone, I feel like I learned so much about them just by how we're playing together. And it makes conversation a lot easier. And it's been a challenge because it's not natural to me. So it's been a good challenge in helping me learn how to be more expressive, I guess, in that way.
Okay, I have one question that's kind of off scripts here. So what instrument have you played with that is, I guess, the most unconventional for like a cellist to play with?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good question. Unconventional. I would say anything electronic. And when I say electronic, I don't mean like a keyboard, but like I've played with people have recorded like audio clips. There's been pieces written where they have acoustic instruments with audio clips of like phone calls from a very specific like point in history. And so that to me, it was a very surreal experience doing it because it had a lot of meaning to it, but it was also really odd because we're playing alongside something that's generated differently. So I would say, yeah, that anything like a recorded audio clip of something else.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah, the music language is something that is definitely to be awed. And with that being said, I think we should do another clip. And then we'll ask you actually right after if you can explain, the song that you chose and and the creative process. Right.
Another awesome piece. So
Yes.
now that our next question is, if you compose your own music, or maybe you make a different arrangement of something, what is your creative process? Or you can answer, like, how do you approach a new piece of music?
I'll take, because I have two answers. So I'll take with the first one about creating my own music. I honestly don't do as much of that as I would like to. A lot of it's more like people give me something, I have to just learn it. But when it comes to arranging, I have arranged things, and one of my favorite things to arrange are hymns that are not well known. That hymn is a tune that's like old, but in the Adventist hymnal, it's like it's called "I Heard the Voice of Jesus Say." And I'll arrange the hymn mainly depending on who I'm playing for. If I'm playing for a church, like my church community, or if I'm playing for people who just listen to classical music, it'll be different. depending on that. But my main goal is to make sure the melody is clear so that if there's any attachment to the lyrics, that is what is brought to their minds. But yeah, when it comes to anything else, it's more like get the music. If I could find a recording, listen to it, and just get to work practicing it and preparing it to perform it.
Okay. Yeah. And since the topic of this week has been the Passion of the Christ, what do you think about in reference to the words "the Passion of the Christ," and what music comes to mind when you think about the sacrifice that Jesus did for us and dying on the cross?
To me, the music that actually makes that most real to me is gospel music, specifically American Black gospel music. And I didn't grow up listening to that music, to tell you the truth. I didn't grow up with it in church. But when I hear it and the more I learn about just the history of it and the content of what that music is about, that to me is something that very much evokes the emotion of what Jesus was going through at that time. And it was about deliverance. Ultimately, it was really painful, but he knew what the outcome was supposed to be. And when I think of gospel music, I think that's really what it's about, like this yearning for deliverance, for freedom, and constantly like looking for the joy in your experience, even while you're struggling. So that's kind of why that music works for me in that sense.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so one more question before our next artist. What is the best piece of advice you've been given about music?
The best, okay, I'd say the best advice I've learned is it's not about me. Even though I'm performing it, and even if I may have arranged it, created it, whatever it is, I'm a medium for a message. And ultimately, if that message is not getting across, then I'm not doing the job properly. But it also reminds me that it's about connection, and it's bigger than this person right here.
I like that answer a lot.
Yeah. Okay, so I think we should bring on our next guest. KJ is he's a part of a band, and I'll actually let him share about his music career. I hear that you started in the music. I don't want to say business, but you started really working with music from a young age.
Yes. My dad, he's the one that kind of put together the band that I play for. Well, we're known as the family. And at least how I met Jonah is we were playing for a camp meeting, the family. So a lot of the times you would see us through the whole week. We would put together the songs that we were going to practice and then perform them every week for services, and then just getting a lot of gigs and stuff like that. So we've been together for quite a long time, just because we grew up in the same church, and then you go from different places and you meet new musicians, make new connections. So yes.
And could you also tell us a little more about yourself?
I am. I'm in college. I am a bassist, guitarist. I like to produce music. That's my thing. I like the idea of just being able to create something. I'm an art major in college, so the music is an expression for me, and I like the ideas of just like a lot of times I'm a general fan of music, so I actively go out my way to look for different artists, see what they're putting out, even if they're not well known, just to get different ideas and just see how it inspires me. And then also working out and looking out for people who might be in my area or just friends and seeing what we can create. So, yes.
Okay, can you briefly tell us, you kind of already did, but can you tell us a couple of the music related projects that you've been working on maybe recently, or something that's been special to you?
I haven't. A lot of things that I've been working on have just either been with friends or have not yet come out. A lot of the times I'm either just making things for other people. Me and my friend for fun made a Christmas project just because it was like quarantine. What else there to do? I'm not a big fan of Christmas music, so it was just like doing something unorthodox. But other than that, nothing has come out from myself. I've worked with other people. There's a Christian rapper named Patience. Um, he's in the seminary. I'm forgetting his name right now, but I've worked with people like him and other people that come in and through our church. So I'm always looking for new people to work with and stuff like that. So yes.
And I know you mentioned that your dad kind of introduced you, but in what way has music impacted your life?
Literally, music is music is everything in my life. Being like art major is, even though that's what my career is going to be, my minor is in music production. It's I never like growing up. You like at least at my church, you have like different musicians, and like I just wanted to be one of those people. And then when I finally got up there, it's like, oh snap, I could do this. Then you start going to other places, and you're like, oh, people. Then you like start getting good, and you see younger people. Then like, I want to be like you. Like you want to be like me. I'm still trying to get up there. And just the whole idea of just how anybody can do it, and just seeing where you can go with it. I just like that idea, and so just music is, it's a special place in my heart.
Okay, good to hear. Good to hear. I think we're going to listen to one of your songs now.
Right.
They are the best and the worst you've created, loving and hating and opinionated, loners in basements and those congregated. Deliver me. Far from the peaceful shore I was sinking, deep in the oceans of thoughts they were thinking. Don't know what validation I was seeking. Deliver me from people. When you said you can heal me from anything, did you mean people? Deliver me, 'cause I can't point them out. I won't say the names. I don't know the damage or which one to blame. It's just people. Deliver me.
She was the reason I smiled in the morning. He took the last bit of joy I was storing. There's too much power for anything human. Deliver me from people. When you said you could heal me from anything, did you mean people? Deliver me, 'cause I can't point them out. I won't say the names. I don't know the damage or which one to blame. It's just people. Deliver me.
All the hurt are hurting,
And the broken are breaking. Oh, and the ones who had their joy taken away are out here taken from.
all the people.
That was a good song. That was a very good song. Can you tell us a little bit about that song and maybe introduce to us the other band members that we saw in that clip?
Um, the song "People" by Jonathan McReynolds. So back in, I mean, that was back in quarantine. Well, we still in quarantine, like it's not gone, but we were trying to get songs just because everybody was like, especially when things were starting to get colder, when it was getting colder, we had to make videos to play for service. Because we still do, at least my church, we still do service through Zoom, even now, even though we've like advanced farther, just so you can still gotta get a personal kind of feel and interact with other people. But that's besides the point. So just one of the songs that we chose to do, and just Kendra and Jalen. Kendra's my younger sister, and Jalen's my best friend. He's also the keyboardist for the band. So he often, if you seen us at camp meeting or just anywhere else, you might see him behind the keys with the mic as well singing. But yes, and then my dad with the shaker in his hand.
Okay. Now, do you sing real quick?
Huh?
Do you sing? I mean, everybody else in the video looked like they were singing, and I just wanted to check.
No, I do not. I am the guy in the background, the guy behind the scenes.
Okay, cool. So we saw that was like a Christian song there. What type of music do you typically create? Kind of give us a little bit info on that genre. What?
For me, personally, since I'm the only one that really makes music, Kendra and Jalen have a project out they made back in 2013. Oof, that's the most stuff, but that was like just like a mixture of original music that my dad had made and them as well. That was Christian. A lot of stuff that I make is just whatever, with my friends or just anybody. I just like to just make music. If it is Christian, then that's what happens. I mean, I enjoyed like trying to make different sounds because growing up, advanced to like you only hear just super churchy music. You don't necessarily hear anything else. The possibilities of what it could be. And so, like, so one of the things of why I'm so adamant about finding different artists because there's different takes on like the gospel Christian. That's such a wide variety of music that you could create whatever you want in there. So as long as you're talking about the word, so
Right. And how has COVID changed things for you guys, the band?
so I play for a Sunday church, and I was doing service for Saturday and then service for Sunday. And my Sunday church doesn't have a building; they're just a congregation. So we were doing service outside. And as it got colder, we weren't able to meet. Still haven't been able to meet. It's just not getting warm, but not consistently. For Saturday, we usually try to perform at least twice a month. We just had service today inside the church, musicians and the speaker, and then everybody else on Zoom. But nothing too much. I mean, I've kind of been enjoying it. It's been a nice break, but I've been ready to get back to doing everything. I love the activeness.
Okay, I want to slide back now. You mentioned that you listen to a lot of different artists. So if you could collaborate with one of them, who would it be? And feel free to mention any of your, newer discoveries. It doesn't have to be someone that everyone knows.
Yeah.
That's a good question. There's this, what is his name? He's like this lo-fi Christian artist. He collaborates a lot with this artist called Lord's Child. He had this project that was called Camp Lukewarm. And I like that. Just me, because I play the guitar as well as you saw in the video. So anything with strings, I'm down for. And just a lot of the music, at least that I make for me personally, is really mellow, or just in a chill aspect. So that is something somebody I would love to collaborate with.
Okay.
Right. And
oh,
sorry. I was gonna just sneak a question in there. How is it performing with your family? I know you said your dad and your sister play with you or sing and work with you.
It's normal to me. We've been doing everything together. I think that was kind of another way of just my dad is having us. Like we've always been performing in the church. So just going from another place to another, like, is nothing to me. just because that's
Mhm.
what I played with first. And it's when you play with other people like that you might feel a little bit uncomfortable with. But I mean, it's just as long as you just work it, we're here to play the music, we're here to
Mhm.
perform, we're here to make sure that the spirit is in the room. And so, I mean, it's nothing.
Right. And do you guys as artists have any questions for each other?
I mean, I have comment, but not any questions. I was vibing out. I was feeling it, and then they stopped, and I was like, oh no.
Yeah, sorry. I was thinking the same thing. I was like, dang, because it's hard to find a place to stop. But I was also saying I really enjoyed that the group's rendition of that song. I love that song. But I think I was gonna ask the artist that you're referring to, is it Montel Fish?
Yes, yes.
I was thinking, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yes. I wish, guys, we could play longer clips, but we're on a time limit. So unfortunately, we can't. But there's so much stuff on. Yeah. Can you guys express where people can find music that you guys make to listen to?
Wait, sorry, say that again.
Danielle. Danielle, is there a place someone can look so they can listen to your music?
Sure. I think I don't have enough things recorded. I mean, if you look me up, look my name, and put cello next to it, there are some recordings, but I'm mostly a live performer. But I'll try to do better. I'll try to put more stuff out there. But just look for my name, cello, and something will pop up.
Okay. Right. So it's cello. What is it? Danielle Wilson.
Cello.
Cello. Okay. So that's for you guys in the comments who would like to look at her music. You go find it on YouTube at Danielle Wilson Cello. And KJ, what about you?
If you're asking for like Kendra and Jalen, who are also part of the band, you can find their project. I can't remember what it's called, but as long as you look up like Kendra, Jeremiah, Jalen Thomas, or just Kendra and Jalen, you can find their music on all platforms. I haven't put out anything necessarily on all platforms. All the stuff I've made is either on SoundCloud or on my social media. So, yes.
And how do they find you on SoundCloud?
Just look up Kendall in all caps. Kendall.
Right.
Dell.
Okay, y'all. So we have a bit of homework to do. So we're going to transition right into our game. It says rapid fire, but the point of the game is to answer as quickly as possible. It's this or that, and we're going to do a practice question. So our practice question is performing online or in person?
In person. In person.
Different experience.
What did you say, KJ?
I said it's just a whole different experience in person, full of connection.
Nicole, what about you?
I would say in person, right? But I don't like to perform in general, so let's go to the next question.
Okay, I think you guys got the hang of it. Okay, folk music or country western?
Folk music.
Folk.
Country western.
Country western.
Yeah, because I like line dancing, so.
I like country music, though. What about you guys? Why'd you choose folk music?
I'm not the biggest fan of country, and I just love anything that has guitars. It's just like it's eclectic sound. So for me,
yeah, I would agree. And I feel like it's a little broader.
Mm-hmm.
I get the twang for country a little bit, but there's something more earthy about folk that I just love. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Would you rather play on a cruise or in a jazz club?
Jazz club.
Jazz club. Yeah.
Yeah, jazz club, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say cruise just because I want to be on a cruise, but that's besides the point. That's like COVID speaking.
Right. Music hall in your city or town or the Apollo Theater?
The Apollo.
Oh, this is hard. I'd have to go with the music hall in my city, mainly because I would sound better in there. It's hard. Yeah, just acoustically, yes.
Oh, I'm sure you sound good anywhere you played. I'd have to go with the Apollo just because, the history there. I don't know. Nicole?
I'd say the city because the Apollo, that's like a lot of pressure. Like, can't be messing up.
Fair enough. Would you rather play in a band or an orchestra?
Band.
This is not fair. Dang.
We won't report it to your grad school program.
No, it's not that. I'm not worried about them. It's the band is better for me, but I feel like most of the time the band instruments are like amplified, whereas I'm like not. So I do swallow it up. But I love the band feel.
I feel like a
I
band.
say band.
I feel like a band could be doesn't necessarily have to be like a guitar, bass, or anything like that. I feel like it could be an instrument that you want to use in there. Because I've come across different people who don't necessarily have the basic instruments, so that's why I say band.
KJ, you played the bass, right?
Yes,
Okay, so the next question is bass or cello?
bass.
Cello.
I don't know. I'll say cello for now.
But
Nicole.
I have to say, bass is pretty. I mean, when I play an orchestra, there are bass players behind me, and there is nothing like that. That sound is there's nothing. So I props to bass players. Any,
Yeah, but are we talking about upright bass? Because that's a very kind of different.
No, both. I know, like either one. Bass.
Okay.
Bass,
Okay.
Yeah.
I would say bass because I've always wanted to play the upright bass.
Yeah. Conducting or arranging?
Arranging.
Shoot. Okay. Arranging. Yeah.
I'd have to say arranging too. Yeah.
I'd say arranging. I think conducting is a lot of, you're like all in the front. It's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, you mess up, everyone mess up. That messes up, and you're done. What do you say? If you could arrange, what genre would it be in? Or for, rather.
I don't know. I like just and honestly anything. I want to see what I could do to any song. There's if you look up like strange arrangements of any like just in YouTube, you'll find like these dope arrangements of just like either pop songs or the song that you would never expect, and you get to see musicians take it creatively like a whole nother place. So it's yes.
Yeah, I like blends. So like I love when I hear classical music, that or gospel arrangements of classical music or the reverse. But like when it's really good, not just like basic.
Okay.
Yeah, I like crossovers. In particular.
I don't
Speaking
have
of-
an answer for that.
Speaking of crossovers, which tempo do you like better? A blended tempo or a waltz?
Blended.
Blended.
Oh, I'll have to say blended too.
Same.
Yeah. Nicole?
I would
Come
say
on.
blended, but like whatever, you know.
I was about to say, if you're about to bow out of another question, that is not okay. Okay, that's against the rules. Okay, what about Ty Tribbett or Kirk Franklin?
Kirk Franklin. Franklin.
Five.
This is a tough question. They both have dope arrangements. You listen to Ty Tribbett songs, his arrangements be crazy. Stuff like that, I would spend hours trying to practice just one song. I'm about to say Ty Tribbett just off of that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go Kirk Franklin. I mean, he's an old staple. Everybody, I feel like Ty Tribbett's he's a little new on the scene. I mean, I don't know.
He is, but he does like out of the box stuff. He's like out there and it's fun.
True. But I mean, it's a little. Sometimes it's a little loud. Like, okay, like it's a little.
But it's so complex, though. It's really complex. If you listen to this stuff, it is.
Yeah.
Changing your mind, Danielle? Are you changing your mind right now?
No, stop. Leave her on my side. Thank you.
No, I'm solid Kirk Franklin. I'm paying respect. Trying.
Okay.
Yes, Nicole, stay in your lane, please. Okay, what about do y'all know the Walls Group?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. The Walls Group or Mary Mary?
Mary.
Mary.
Ain't no question. Ain't no question.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, I have to say Mary Mary because that was like one of the first CDs I owned as a kid.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to go Walls Group. I just like, I like the setting. I just like nothing against Mary Mary. I love them. I'll listen to it every day, but Okay, next question, guys. Dancing or singing?
Dancing.
Singing.
Singing.
I don't know. I guess dancing. I always say dancing, so we'll stick with dancing. Okay, what a game. Did you guys have fun?
I was a lot more nervous than I should have been.
What about you, Danielle?
Yeah, same. I think I was confused. I was like, I hope there's no questions that I have no answer to.
Oh no, you guys did great. Thank you so much for coming on. Nicole, do we have any other questions for them?
I think we can ask them, what is your favorite song to perform?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Is it okay if I kind of answer the question not really? Basically,
Sure.
I don't have a favorite song to perform, but I love to perform with my siblings. My brother plays piano, my sister plays violin, and I mean, they're like my closest people. So playing with them is my favorite thing.
Right.
We'll accept that.
Okay.
I would say similar. I don't have any song that I would say is my favorite, just because anything live performed, I'm going to enjoy it regardless. Just me and my friend, me and Jalen, the guy who's singing and also plays the keys for my band. We literally just try to create anything, and just we're getting to add our own spin onto stuff. That's like, oh, I can't wait. So yes.
Okay. I like that. I guess we'll take both of your non-answers to the question.
Right. And for those non-answers, the penalty is 2 last questions and then we're a wrap. The 2 last questions will be, first we'll start off. People are wondering, since you guys are artists and you guys have been been at it for a while and you guys have cultivated your craft, what advice can you give to other people who are looking into becoming a musician or more behind the scenes as you are, KJ? What advice can you give them?
From a producing aspect, just always keep looking for different inspirations. Like, I get writer's block all the time, especially when I'm trying to make new stuff or just come up with new ideas, because you see people that come and go. It's all about also just being consistent, because even if you're not getting anything in that moment, you might have something come to you later. So you just got to get in that habit of making sure that you keep just repetition. So yes, and just fresh stuff.
And I'll add to that and say it takes work. I think some people, they look at music and they see people performing and they think that happened in one night. And like that takes a lot of time. So if you're already working and you're starting something, that work will add up and the results will prove itself in the end.
Yeah. And our last question, and then we will play the last 2 songs from you guys, is being with the Passion of the Christ, which is our theme for the week. And today's specific sermon topic is the resting, where we're talking about Jesus in the grave. What song comes to mind when you hear that and think about Jesus dying and sacrificing his life for us?
In service today, we were playing. I think it was called "No Greater Love." That's love, or however, I don't know the exact title, but that song, comes to my mind every time. So yes, and yeah, I forgot the rest of the question, so I'm just gonna say this.
I was trying to think of a song in particular that has to do with Christ resting. I think we think of him resurrecting a lot, so I think of all those songs. But I keep thinking of the song, this may not be directly connected, but it's called I Shall Not Want by Audrey Assad. It's one of my favorite songs. And to me, it's about kind of just like sitting back and resting in what Christ has done for me. His death, as tragic as it is and was, there is goodness that came out of it. So the song I Shall Not Want is about basking in that goodness.
Yeah. For me, I would have to say, do y'all know Giants Fall by Francesca Baschielli? Is that how? I think that's her last name. Something like that. Because Jesus took down the ultimate enemy. I know sometimes we think, oh, this person's being mean to us or this person's evil. But really, you know, at the end of the day, it is the devil who's trying to knock us down. And Jesus took it all down, and he did exactly what needed to be done. And you really don't need to do anything except for accept Christ into your heart, which is super easy. But not really. I mean, it's still, I know some people are going to be like, oh my goodness, it's easy. It's easy in the statement of accepting, but it's hard in the path that you have to walk. And Jesus will be with you the entire time. So in the end, it's a smooth run when you keep God at the forefront. Nicole, what about you?
So specifically, like for the resting, it just reminds me of like prayer time, right? Like when we're in person for church and they have like the garden of prayer. I really like the song, Now Dear Lord, as we pray. It's like the short hymn that they play usually during prayer time. And I just like that. And I think there's a line that says like, may our lives be transformed by your love. And I don't know, I just really like that song and the lyrics. So that would probably be the song that reminds me of it.
Yeah, these are all good song options. Thank you guys so much for coming on. People in the chat, we have lots of homework. There's some songs that I'm going to listen to tonight. I don't know about you guys. And I want to thank Danielle and KJ for coming on today. I also want to thank Nicole for coming and being the best co-host. And I hope you guys had fun.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. And as we close, As we close, I'm going to play a song that Danielle provided for us. I think it's a trio, so we'll listen along. It's good, guys. It's good. I hope you guys enjoyed that as much as I did. Thank you guys so much for tuning in as we head over to the next main hour program. KJ, the other artist, part of a band, we'll play their clip at the head of that show. Again, thank you for the comments and stay tuned for our next one. I'd like to again thank our guests and co-hosts for coming on today. And I will see you guys shortly. Let's have a closing word prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you as we go into our next program. Please bless us, provide us with the words, and allow the Holy Spirit to lead and guide us in our lives. Bless everyone who came on and watched tonight, any unspoken prayer requests that are on their hearts. Please comfort, guide, and grant them, and lead them as we continue to walk towards you. And please save us in your kingdom in spite of ourselves, that we may see you shortly in your kingdom. Amen.